Councillors, it's 5:30 or thereabouts, so we'll make a meeting. Start of this meeting, the finance, management and strategies on Tuesday, the 23rd of July, at the council chambers. This meeting has been recorded and will upload it to the Bill Town Council YouTube page. Aim of decision making should be transparent and in the public domain, which will involve more of the community and local democracy. By being in the council chamber, you consent to be recorded and your images will be added to the YouTube. The images and sounds may be used for training purposes. All views are expressed as a speaker's own and not necessarily a reflection of the views of Bill Town Council. Please view guidelines on recording of public meetings policy if you need more information. Yeah. First one on the agenda, apologies please.
We've had apologies from councillors Hopkins, Salt, Hart and Smith.
Any others? No, thank you.
Have you,
Yeah, Dr. Smith, yeah.
Oh, do you say so?
I didn't hear that, actually.
Mike, you.
You're a quietly spoken person, you see.
Looks like one of the Blues Brothers.
I'm deaf.
How bellow at you for this.
All right, that will I keep.
Bellow.
No, the declarations of interest. Disposable pecuniary interest and any other interests. In declare.
Need to walk back
Got some
there.
time, just shout up, please. Number 30, which is the third item, to declare the minutes of the Finance Strategy Management Committee meeting held on the 25th of June, 2024. These have been approved at Town Council on the 9th of July. I sign these as a true record.
I was there before I said that.
You like-
He's there in the spirit.
You've done it.
Oh, we've done that.
He was there.
Accounts matters to the bank to approve the bank reconciliation for May 2024. All accounts attached.
Oh,
Now, one little thing I'd just like to point out, actually, the bottom line, well, I won't mention it because we're on YouTube, but look how much money that we had dealt with in the last 2 months. Quite an alarming amount of money, really.
we should put
Any
it.
other comments?
Yeah, send it my way, please.
Cannot. Yeah.
Chairman, I'd like to suggest it's possibly a little bit to do with the time of the year. The start of a new financial year, there's a disproportionate amount of annual items of expenditure or items of annual expenditure that fall. And if you're looking back over the last 2 months, I think it covers that period.
Right.
Thought about just that, it might explain just part of it.
And the first payment of the precept as well.
So, yeah.
A lot of money gone through the books in the first few months.
But we're on call, certainly, for everything. That's it then. Fireproof, bomb-proof.
Jones?
Yeah, just leave it, we approve it.
Yeah. Seconded, councillor Hall or Harper, all in favour? Thank you. Wanted to point that little fact out to you there, really. Right, those two, to receive an update on the shared prosperity funds. This is for the visitor centre and the town centre frontage. Possibly.
Thank you. So just a verbal update. We had applied for £40,000 from this round of shared prosperity funding. We haven't been successful with that. Apparently, somebody warned me about this as I put in the application. They only allocated £200,000 to that particular pot, and they already knew there were 30 odd applications. So my guess is they've gone with more smaller ones. You know, if we put 40,000 in £200,000 pot, we would have been quite small. That's it. We are on the reserve list. We've been on the reserve list before we did our garden festival, so we were still able to get some funds that way. So it might be that we can get some information with that, but I will continue to pursue other.
Need a pinch of salt with us.
Yeah, and also to just let you know that the shop frontage scheme has recently closed. I've helped 2 shops with applications this time. There are still a few more who are kind of going through the due diligence process. That on there. So we should hopefully have some shop frontage work starting quite soon.
Thank you. Councillor Yates, and then Jackson.
Yes, I think Sarah still was going to say in the context that it's been put on the reserve list, which is a shame that it wasn't approved, but it was a large amount. But at least there's a couple of things which have come out of that. One is that if there is slack in any of the other funds when we're coming close, then there might be an opportunity. We're discussing that this afternoon. Actually, there might be an opportunity to actually redistribute that into areas which actually give sustained return, and obviously this grant comes into one of that. And the other thing is that, you know, what we've lacked, or have been criticised for lacking before, is having other, you know, shelf ready projects and things. So in some respects, this is a shelf ready product, either for additional grant applications, which Sarah finds, or whatever potentially comes through with the new round of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. There is an expectation that, you know, some kind of fund to either continue this UK Shared Prosperity Fund or a replacement version of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund will be coming forward just to bridge the gap while the new government gets itself on its feet under the table. So it's not all negative. It's just, I just consider it as a hiatus at this moment in time.
Thank you. Councillor Jackson.
Yeah, I think perhaps not for now, but perhaps a few months down the road, we actually tally up what we've managed to get out of it. And I think from a district point of view, there'll have to be some sort of report that says which part of the district has benefited from these funds. So we can actually make some real comparisons to see, right, we've batted above our weight, or we've been underfunded in any way. But I'm not suggesting for 1 second that we haven't had our fair share. But it'd be really interesting to find out where that money's been spread across the district.
Councillor Jackson, Councillor Ward.
Just on that point that Councillor Jackson just raised, we did have a meeting yesterday, didn't we, where we discussed this? And at first, it did seem as if it was leak-centric at first, but over the period of the fund, you know, and I think it's going to continue in some format, but we don't know what. But they haven't come out, the government haven't come out and pledged anything yet. It looks like it's pretty much gone even across the 3 towns, the 3 areas now in terms of grant applications and funding that's been allocated. But obviously, we just need to keep fighting our corner on behalf of it. But again, there's been no statement made from the Chancellor whether that it's going to continue in that form, because it was the old European money. It used to be, what was it called? European Regional Development. Yeah, something like that. And then it metamorphosed into the
Levelling up.
Levelling up and shared prosperity and all that. But we think it will continue, but there's been no announcement yet. So we just fingers crossed.
Thank you for those updates on that one. Shall we move on?
Yeah, just following up on that, because then that makes them figures even more important. Yeah. Especially because I would expect that population-wise, Biddle should be looking at roughly twice the amount of cheese, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all right, they can have a project that's quite expensive, but over a period of time, I would expect that to sort of not level out, but us to be sort of in the box seats on that one.
And then Cheadle could say we've had our leisure centre, you know, the heat pumps and all that, and they haven't. And I mean, it's just fighting his own corner, isn't it? That's
Well,
Being done, isn't it?
yeah.
our staff are keeping an eye on things, but thanks for the updates and share.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Mate?
Yeah, question.
Yeah, so
Councillor.
if I think you all know where I'm coming from. If you have a ward which is underfunded for whatever reason, surely when these sort of things come up, there should be a weight towards that ward.
I mean, it's very difficult. If Shared Prosperity Fund, which obviously is administered by the district, it's difficult to put any weighting on that. You know, Biddle Feaster is a priority in terms of the government size and in terms of deprivation and stuff. But you can only deal with the bids you've got in front of you, the district, and try to be fair. You know, I mean, I don't sit on the Shared Prosperity Fund, but I know how it's administered and stuff. And it's, you know, it's just
get your bids in, as many as you can for projects, and hopefully you get a bit of the pot. I mean, that's as much as it is, really.
Like, it just seems underfunded. to me.
Yeah. It's, who knows what format it may come out in.
Councillor Hall, the last speaker, because you're at a fair area, and I know it's very important.
It's just really a matter that the leak has had what, something like 17 million thrown at it. And potentially you've got other share prosperity. And we could probably sort of say, no, we want some of that. Surely we should be looking at saying, well, Biddulph and Cheadle should be having that money, not Leek. I think that Leek have had enough, as far as I can see.
Yeah, but the
Potentially what we should be saying.
the clue, Dave, is in the shared prosperity. Yeah, that's
You know, yes.
it's best bids. And you know, as I say, I don't sit on the board, but it's administered by the district. And, you know, the leader, the council sits on it and whatever. But I think it's just purely based on the best bids that come in and what projects are going to benefit communities. And that's it.
Thank you. We're going to move on anyway.
Well, enough.
Yeah,
On the MPs, let's be honest.
I know it's important, a lot to go. We are keeping an eye on things anyway. Thank you. Moving on, confirm arrangements for the re-tendering burial ground contract currently due in July of next year. Now, what we're asking for on this to start with, is we extend it until November of next year and start making discussions. The reason being is I think it's a crazy time to end a contract in the middle of the growing season. We think we should leave it till the end of the growing season and then start anew or re-employ what we've got, start of the season after. Chief Officer, please.
Those of you who remember at the time, we had some issues at the start of the current contract with a company that we then didn't continue with, which meant that this current contract then didn't start the growing season. It started in July, as Councillor Rogers said, and had some tentative discussions with the existing contractor as to whether he'd like to finish early or alter it on the end, basically. So I was thinking kind of November, December time, if we finish the contract, if you would be happy to do that. And I'll obviously have more formal conversations with him if you're open to that. It's just from the perspective of a new contractor or the existing one, whoever gets it, having a bit of kind of preparation time really before they have to dive straight into intensive mowing. That's the way to describe it.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor James, then Jackson.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Well, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me, and the incumbent is doing a good job. So I'll just move that we do extend it until the end of November or beginning of November.
There we go. I think yeah, and then
End of November then, and then we go to renew on November 25.
Yeah, start afresh.
So I'll put that as a I'll move that, Chair.
Councillor Jackson.
I thought that, because I remember actually suggesting it's a shifty time in the middle of the growing season to be negotiating a new contract. And Sarah's reminded me it was because of that fallout we had with the previous contract, because we would have been in normally into the winter months anyway, wouldn't we? And I think it probably gives the people who do that kind of work a bit more time to prepare their bids as well. So we put it out to contract in, what would it be, October?
yeah, certainly September. Give us some time to go at it before we start thinking about budgets and precepts.
I'll second that proposal.
Okay. That's Harper.
Thank you. I've listened to what you're saying, and I do agree partly. But if their contract ended in November, then to me, that is the wet season, that we need somebody in that burial ground to keep it neat and tidy, because I don't know if we still suffer with the flooding. So I think the contractors should be on site during the rubbish weather. So I would extend the contract past Christmas, quite frankly, so that we've got somebody there if the weather is really nasty. And then
It's
graves get
not
nasty.
cutting the grass.
Yeah, don't give a toss, but
Well, it is, it's just for cutting the grass. Not for drainage or anything, just for cutting the grass.
Should be okay in the winter months. That's the idea. We don't want to start messing around with contractors at the height of the growing season. Want to leave it till the back end of the year.
Chair, just picking up on that point, is there any harm in running it till, for a new contract to start, say, in January, then we just run it January to January? And then that covers all bases, because with the warming climate and milder climate, which we're suffering from, and the growth is carrying on that little bit further, the close season is shortening, we know that from the street planting, don't we? But whether it makes any difference.
And then
If that, through the chair, is a proposal, can I second?
Once we're vote.
all right, well, we've had a proposer, we've had a second, actually.
Yeah, well, the one for Nigel,
An alternative.
Right?
the one for Nigel, are you proposing that now?
Yeah. Well, I'll propose that as an alternative, but we voted on the first one first,
Yeah,
Got a first,
and I'll be seconding Nigel, so there's two on the table.
unless it goes through.
Well, yeah,
Vote on John's and.
so councillor Jones has proposed end of November, wasn't it?
Well, I'm dancing on there of opinions.
Yeah.
it's only 2 months, folks, and then there's January.
8 weeks.
Yeah, April, well, yeah,
Not making me loud, so let's crack on with it now.
Well then, crack on, Chair.
So what are we heading for?
You're heading for councillor Jones's proposal, which is October.
Take a vote on that.
What I'm trying to do, yeah.
That one fails, take a vote on the other one.
Right. Councillor Jones's proposal, seconded by councillor Jackson. All in favour? One. That takes the vote, I'm afraid, councillor Harper.
democratic.
Okay.
They're all wrong.
Right, it's tidy.
Tidy.
Right, moving on then.
Thank you, Nigel, by the way, so.
So we will carry on that principle. We'll get extended and we shall have a new contract or reinstate the original one at that date. Right, we have approved for interpretation boards within the town following further investigations. Give us, please.
Yes, Andrew and I were very much hoping that we could go and have the opportunity to sit on an interpretation board, which is what we talked about last time, if you recall.
Is that two of you on one?
Yes, we were both thinking.
Trying to work out the weight distribution here.
Jiggle around a bit, yeah, we're gonna do that. But unfortunately, the company that we were hoping, whose boards we were hoping to sit on, provide them, but don't necessarily know where they're installed. So we've been unable to find a location.
To sit on
for said interpretation board.
That was parish councils all over the county and trying a sigh of relief. Potential down. Two vandals.
Councillor Jones.
Expensive.
So, they made an interpretation board describing an area,
Yes.
Yeah.
but they can't remember where it was.
Yeah.
GDP.
People apparently have them created, but then choose to install them themselves.
I know, but they will have known what the graphic is that's gone on with that.
Yes, I think they could have done the
Surely.
exact vicinity as to where it was supposed to. We'd have to find ourselves driving around villages looking for interpretation board. We're in it, but we either sort of start from scratch and look for something different that we do, or we go with this one as it's like.
All I would say, Sarah, through the chair if I may, is do whoever you use, don't use the same company that the ones in the Great Country Club.
No,
Because
absolutely.
if I make Ken start on them to be flat, and they have been bent over.
What are you suggesting?
Nothing. Suggesting I'm heavy.
Oh, you did mention my name, didn't
Councillor Yates.
Just for
How many are you planning to actually buy? Is it just one or?
No.
Or, I was just thinking, because you don't, it's not always one size fits all, because these are very much a premium
Are you
ones.
supposed to pass those around though?
Well, he picked one up from when he come in, that's all I'm saying. Sorry, but you know, I'll share it with you. But I mean, obviously all premium design and the price comes with that. And I'm sort of wondering whether for some locations, something like the core group did at the Orchard at Biddulphmore Recreation Ground, looking at Councillor Jones. What do you think?
It's all right.
Yeah, I think so. Of course, is if it's something which can be vertical and it does the job, like if you're doing an orchard or a hedge line or something. But more, I think having one size fits all might be just operation overkill. That's all I'm thinking. I mean, it's absolutely perfect for something like, the railway line where you want to look over it, so to speak. Or if you want to look at the vertical ones, well, the coax ones are a lot cheaper and last indefinitely. These do need maintenance. That's the only comment.
Thank you.
My concern with this is that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I just think they are gonna.
Every maintenance.
Councillor Hawley.
I sort of thinking back to the last meeting, weren't we actually going to make contact with Doc Gordon to find out something about the core?
Sorry?
Weren't we going to make contact with Doc Gordon to find out about the core?
We agreed in principle that these oak lectern
test.
ones would be the ones that we'd use across the town, so we've got consistency in look of those. I mean, we can make further investigations. My concern is we've got a few projects that come to fruition in September, which we're kind of hoping to open, and we haven't got a meeting with this committee until the end of September. So I don't know whether you want to try one of these and see what it looks like, or whether you want me to investigate something completely different, whether you're happy to sort of delegate that and we can further discuss over summer months.
By the Chair.
That's on it. Oh, and then Jones.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, you're sort of saying, suggest using one, see what it looks like, but if we sort of decide that one doesn't, what's it? I thought we were looking to get something which is consistent across the board. So if we get one and we don't like it, then potentially we're going to have different ones here, there and everywhere. I think we need to sort out what we're having at the start. And then we'll sort of say, right, this is what we're having, and use that type wherever we're putting them, so that at least they're consistent.
Just a thought before Councillor Jones. Are these pre-made or are they made to order, or don't you know?
I imagine an element of the frames pre-made.
I'm guessing the
Obviously,
frame's pre-made, if we could ask for one as a sample. Possibly. Councillor Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hold it up, but I was saying, I mean, they're £1,200 each. It's not an inconsiderable amount of money, is it?
Mm.
So, I mean, it looks robust, yeah, and with the angle of it, you hard pressed to sit on it anyway. That's not to say people wouldn't climb on it. Don't live in this, and if this is what I'm saying, because it's wood, this is what worries me. If it was a welded steel frame, I think that would be more robust. I think if it's wood, it's jointed, and if it's jointed, joints could be weakened. So, as I said at the time, but I was outvoted, I'm quite concerned about the fact that they're wood. So I would agree with that.
What do you reckon? Are we gonna?
Last time, sorry, Chair. Somebody else's. The last time we discussed this, and I can remember these sort of things being brought up. What did we say at the end of that?
Well, it was decided through the chair, but that was the design. That's what we were going for. But Sarah was going to have a look at them and just see how robust they were.
Are we going to go sit on one? See how strong it was.
I haven't been able to sit on one, so I can delay. I can continue to try to sit on and feedback.
Can't you go to the manufacturer? Where I was made?
It's somewhere in Cheshire.
Well, I think it's a day out. Why don't you go to the factory and have a look at it? Congos are not very far. You've got to see one, haven't you? I think you've got to see one, and if they're making them there, see that one at the factory.
We shall find out where they're made and see if it's local. Go look at one. Okay?
Well, how high are they off the ground?
Before or after you've started.
They are. That's what I'm trying to find out, if they're low down, you can sit on them.
Who wants to go with it?
Councillor Hall.
Just sort of, if we can't find out where they've actually put any, if we can look at it, they can't point us in the direction. It's a bit concerning, effectively, that they can't sort of tell us where they've actually put these things. I mean, what sort of organisation is it?
I suspect you want to sit on one.
They're worried Sarah and Jodie are going to go out and wreck one.
I wish we're not making a decision tonight.
Shaming Councillor Jones.
I wish we're not going to make a snap decision tonight. We will find out where they're made, and if it's local, we shall go and look at one, and then make a final decision.
YouTube.
What we can do, isn't it?
Can you with you over email about this, please? Would anybody have any
Can I
objections?
just say I wasn't casting any distortion at all, Ange?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Right. Jackson.
Would Sarah just remind me where the four that we were thinking of buying are going, which areas? So the Summit Giller Heath at the railway.
Yeah, railway station there, one station road here, And we were going to put one outside the town hall frontage with a bit of information about mining heritage, and then we were going to put one by the lanterns.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
That's councillor Jones.
Just to move this on, Chair, can I move that we task Sarah and Jodie or whoever to go and have a look at one. You could go with them maybe if you've got the time. If you're happy with it, fine.
Okay, proposed, seconded,
Second that.
all in favour? Right, moving on, thank you.
But we've got to look at it, mate. It's a big spend. Isn't it?
Okay,
A big spend.
right, to consider development of a town centre shop business watch project. This is Sheridan from Sainsbury's, has been in touch. There's been a fate of quite severe shoplifting in the town. And Sainsbury's and B&M have got ideas.
Yeah, so manager came to have a conversation with us last week.
Should this be an open? Same. Okay, so I just want the shoplifters know what we're planning to do, that's all.
I think it should be confidential.
I'm just wondering whether it should be and
So you don't
Actually, no name.
If you're planning to do something to prevent shoplifting, then surely the conversation is a deterrent.
If you're planning to do it, you're telling them on that hands, aren't you?
okay, sorry, Karen.
It's fine. There's no, I'm not really talking funds or anything, it's whether or not it's something that you would like us to pursue. So at the moment, there is a pub watch scheme in Biddulph that's been run out of the town hall for a long time. All the pubs liaise with each other, they talk about people who are barred from all pubs, that any issues, that, you know, any kind of they have a bit of training as part of that. Now, the same team within the statutory group also run kind of, it's not called shop watch. We can show you a little video. But also run a scheme whereby shops can communicate with each other as well. And it's done via an app. Now, there is a cost to that, but I have emailed the District Council Community Safety team today. And as it happens, they were talking about it today and are very interested in supporting us with this project. So those businesses that sign up, well, I won't kind of preempt that, but those businesses that sign up would have an app. And if you happen to watch a 1.5-minute little video of this, then you'll understand a bit more about what the project is rather than the written
demonstration video.
So this is a project that's happening in different places around the world.
This is the secure online information sharing system for crime reduction schemes. It's used in more than 500 towns and city centres across the UK by local shop watchers and pub watchers and business crime reduction partnerships, as well as across rural schemes and internally within commercial organisations such as retail multiples, security companies, many of the country's largest shopping centres and sporting arenas, and by the police themselves. For users, DISC comprises 3 key elements. First, the DISC communications platform, where you can access information using the DISC app or DISC desktop. It's also here you can submit incident reports about low-level crime and antisocial behaviour and the people responsible for it. But great information and fast, easy reporting isn't enough. You can't afford to spend your valuable time accessing DISC on the off chance something useful might have been added. So DISC comes with engagement tools, its second key element. As we'll see, these draw users into DISC, meaning more users access it more often, increasing participation levels, maximising the flow of information. But having a great communications platform and powerful engagement tools aren't enough either. The whole system has to be easy to manage, which is where the DISC Admin Centre comes in. DISC administrators don't need to be tech savvy. They're often doing the job on a voluntary basis in their own time. So the admin centre has to be super easy to navigate and use. And it is. It's been designed that way from the bottom up. If you want to know more about DISC, contact us and we'll set up an online demonstration.
Starting on the watch,
So that's the basics of it, and I think it probably works better. It's discussed about a radio system. Well, radio batteries will go dead and be put in a drawer and not used. And that's my opinion on that. With that, I think it's probably got a better potential. So we're just asking really if we want to pursue this and come forward with costs and involvements, really. Councillor Jones.
Sorry, I just watched that and I'm really none the wiser. I'm assuming is it then that you, if you have an incident, you put it on, then it tells everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
That was, sorry, but that was, I don't find that very clear, but anyway. So what's the cost and why are we doing it? Why have we got to do it? Why can't the Chamber of Trade or why can't they get together at the shops like the pubs have done and do it themselves? Why have we got to find taxpayers' money to do that, to fund that? That's just a question.
There's a few speakers on this one. The business chamber, several have tried, including myself, to get it back together. And so far, all of us have failed. I would like it to get it back together. I really would. But how do we involve people? But Chief Officer first on that regarding the question, why are we getting involved before being to the council then?
I think really we're only getting involved because we've been asked to facilitate something. I wouldn't really propose to you that we paid for it. I think the Police and Crime Commission has a role there, Community Safety Partnership at the District Council. And as things stand, we are very well positioned within the town to know who the traders are, so we can make those initial introductions. I don't know who would need to do a kind of admin role. So if you want to add, so it's basically like a fancy WhatsApp. Put people's numbers and details in, and you can share information that way, but in a very GDPR compliant way.
I think if I may just come back on that.
Yeah, please,
If we're just facilitating, if we're going to organise a meeting, see who turns up and let them sort themselves.
That's the gist of the story, yeah.
With that.
Yeah, that is the gist of the story. Councillor Pauline and Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of following on there in terms of actual cost. I mean, when you've got organisations such as Sainsbury's, B&M, Home Bargains, Aldi in town, I'm sure that something like this, if it comes to a cost, they should be funding it. They're the ones who are going to get the benefit from it. As John says, I think, yeah, fine if all we're doing is facilitating it, but in terms of actual cost, I think it's going to be up to sort of the big retailers in the town to actually fund this, because they are the ones who are actually going to get the benefit from it.
Yeah, we're hoping to get money from other sources like Police and Crime Commission, the Chief Officer says, etc.
Wherever, but get it from where you want, but not from it.
Yeah. Councillor Jackson.
Yeah, I think I agree with the consensus. No point in us getting involved financially, but as a facilitator to pull things together, it's what we're good at. We've got badges at the bottom. Do we get a badge? Secondly, but one of the police didn't attend shoplifting incidents unless it was over 250 quid. I think that is, in speech that might be changing, so hopefully that might change. But unless the police are sort of linked into this somehow, and I'm not sure, it didn't really give any indication on there that they were, that could be like an alert quickly to somebody that's linked in. So the police should have this app on their phones as well. That makes a bit of sense to me. Yeah, I mean, Sainsbury's have spent an arm and a leg on security in the last 3 or 4 months, haven't they? Not only physical barriers, just having a security guy there is costing them quite a bit of money. And I don't go in Aldi personally very, very often at all, so I don't really know whether Aldi's something similar. And obviously some of the smaller retailers couldn't afford to do that. So this could be something that might help some of the small retailers in town as well. Although I've never seen anybody running out of those with a leg of lamb, but you never know, it could happen.
Thank you. Councillor Yates.
Yeah, so I mean, facilitate, support, and I'd go as far as say encourage, because it could be the catalyst which does get the business community and Chamber of Business actually together. What the Achilles heel is in the competence and commitment of the administrator, and I wouldn't want that to be it's our charge. If we were potentially commissioned and paid to do that, then that's one thing. But I would suspect one of the bigger retailers, through their normal administration security, for as many as they'd have to actually put the details on, because it's the database details which is the thing, not the pinging the message, because you're just saying, I've seen this person who's been put on. But yeah, it's a glorified, very focused WhatsApp group with bells and whistles. It's just as simple as that. And we all create those groups of the particular things. And in some respects, what you could sort of say, if you got people together, if they didn't want to go for this, is now you're all around the table and you've come here, why don't you create yourself a WhatsApp group? You know, I don't know quite what the GDPR is for that, but obviously, you know, comments are made about things, but in essence, it's a very focused cross between linked ID and WhatsApp from what I've seen on there, so to speak. But the administration I would expect to be either through a reconstituted business of you know,
Imagine some
trade
data protection
or-
issue.
yeah, I know, but or one of the biggest stores, so to speak. So I'd certainly support us facilitating to start off with.
Okay. Okay, councillor Jones?
Just quickly, yeah, I mean, the other thing, the key thing is getting clubs to buy into. It's got to, otherwise everybody's gonna know what's going on. Nothing will be getting done about it. Who's getting robbed? No, nothing will be getting done about it. So the cops have definitely got to buy into it.
Yeah.
Sorry, if I'm wrong, they're very keen.
Okay.
So the first group of people I spoke to was them, and they're the ones that showed us this, they have this already. Through other areas across the county that they can see. And it seems quite user friendly, but you can also report crimes on it. One of the frustrations they have is that some of the biggest stores don't report if the value of the shoplift has been not a certain amount. So it's, all the data isn't there for them, but if it was easily on here, they could. They're keen.
Thank you. Councillor Harper?
Well, thank you. Sorry, the, what concerns me is it all sounds really nice and hunky-dory. But as you will know, that it's all right people reporting a crime, but will they stand up and be counted on the day when it comes to the court? Because that's when them people who are reporting it will back right off.
Are you ready?
Don't want to get involved. So, you know, I think, yeah, it's a nice idea, but I'm not certain that it will work, quite frankly. You know, we've had this before. We've had school watch, we've had all manner of watches, and they're all history. This is better because, yes, we got apps, but it still depends on the person who's putting it out there, what they've seen, and watch out for that guy in the red shirt or wherever it is, or woman, you know, and then they get caught. The Bobby, can you give us a statement? Oh, I didn't realise that. Now, you know about that.
Yeah.
Nigel knows about that. So, you know, be careful with this. That's all I'm saying to you.
Thank you. Councillor Wood?
Yeah, I just think we should move this on. I mean, yeah, I think
in principle, we'll get to.
you shouldn't be the admin. And, you know, let's go back to the shopping, you know, who's contacted us. And just say simply, yeah, we'll give it our full support, but we're not being absolutely involved in it, and that's it.
That's the principle of it, really, that we'd like to be involved, but we need more information. It's early days for it, really.
I propose we support it in principle and we act as the facilitators to get it off the ground, which includes looking for grant support, but not ongoing administration support. So that's my proposal.
I'll say.
First and second. Councillor Jones, in favour? Thank you. We shall report back at a later date on that and tell you what's going on with that sort of stuff. Moving on to number 36, 23-24 mayoral funds. And the funds spent from the civic allowance. That's just Ken Harper's civic allowance.
I declare an interest in this, isn't it? Perhaps. I will do, cover himself.
Okay, declare interest in it. On there. Chief Officer, please, on that one.
Yeah, so you'll see that there's 1449.21 spent on civic allowance, which obviously is 2,535, leaving 1,085.79. In this particular mayoral year, Councillor Harper raised £2,423.68. So the items on the agenda are to confirm the funds spent from the civic allowance. Want to do that first?
Sorry. Yes.
So A is just to confirm the funds spent from the civic allowance, so that's the 1,449.21.
So that's you, 1,449.21, Councillor Jones, yeah.
Well, I think we've gone all through, but I was just going to move that the balance of the funds be transferred to the mayor's charity account.
Yeah.
Second that.
All
Second that.
in favour of that?
Well, that was a quick job.
Yeah,
Any longer?
you got the facts and figures of.
Yeah.
That's the amount being transferred.
Just make it easy.
I don't just want to say it's been transferred, you know what we've transferred.
The funds.
Vote, Chair.
Just have all in favour.
Cancel the contract now.
You've only got Collins, listens.
I vote. On it.
You've only got one.
We voted on now, we're voting on it again.
Chairman.
I said we're transferring the funds over as councillor Jones proposed, all in favour,
On block.
en bloc.
We've done that once, haven't we?
Point of clarification, why is it 36A and C, where's 36B?
Because we hasn't got a figure attached to it, you confirm the remaining funds from the civic allowance can be transferred to the mayor's charity.
Where's B?
We just
On the agenda.
Okay, yeah.
put it out onto the committee, the actual figures that were raised and spent and collected, etc.
Rocket science, isn't it?
So we can
You should consider this one.
move on now, the new mayor, thank you.
New mate gets clean sleep, new,
All right,
with new wedge.
very good. Moving on then. We've done A, B and C then in block on that one.
Yeah.
And then agenda items, consider disposal of any assets. I don't think there's any at the moment.
Although I have scheduled in everybody's calendar that we're having a read out day early September.
The boot sale.
There's nothing to
Stick.
dispose of at the moment.
Dispose of after that.
Firm booth supplies as part of procurement policy.
Yeah, got that.
For the grave digging, that's in this policy that's come through this night, tonight for you, on the second page there.
New funeral, well, not new, but everyone's reviewed their paperwork, 2 funeral directors, 2 memorial masons and 2 photographers. Full paperwork received, method signatures, assurances, all the rest of that. Got those forward for you.
I just declared an interest. I do know the owner of Goff and Sons Funeral Director.
Okay,
But I declared an interest.
Yeah.
Lifelong interest, I hope.
which one?
Goffs.
Go.
It might be lifelong.
Go back to.
Afterlife, because interest.
Tim McGoffs as well.
No tip.
About 70s with him.
Anyway, well, no, you're just approving it, that they're on our procurement list. Really.
Okay,
We need to propose in a second.
now we need to propose a second.
Please, yeah.
I propose that we approve them.
Seconding, councillor. All in favour? Thank you. Right. That's the end of that section. Then we're getting into confidential items now. So thank you, YouTubers, but we're going to lose it at this point and move on with confidential items.